Hi grade 8. This is another this is another video on kind of using spreadsheet. But this time we're going to look at how we can do some little nice shortcuts in spreadsheet for kind of doing calculations and saving us some time rather than getting our calculators out. So for the first thing we're going to look at is how we can calculate our mean averages using the spreadsheet on there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking at Bob's trial for the different heights and looking at his average time that he got from dropping things from those heights. So to do that, I'm going to go for an equals and I'm going to type in average in my capitals. And at this point you can see it's already automatically selecting it, but if it doesn't automatically select what you want, you open your bracket. So average in capital letters, open your bracket and then you highlight the cells that you want to be included. Close your bracket and drop it down. Now, at this point, we want to kind of repeat that for this row here and repeat it for the bottom row there. So I'm going to take this little blue drop down and pull it down, and you should see that I've already got now repeated in here. The average is for row 6 and the average is for row 7. Okay, at the next point, what I can do is some people like to do and see what the spread of their data is. So I'm going to insert a column to the right. And some people like to look at the variation of it and like to look at the range. So in this case, if I want to look at the range, I'm going to go equals the maximum value. And again, maximum, I'm going to take these again through there, minus the minimum. Again, open my bracket, and I'm going to highlight through there, and I'm going to simply close it. Again, I want to repeat that for all of them, and I can bring those down. So the range tells us our spread of our data. So with the first one, with 10 centimeters, I had a range of 0.2, whereas 20 centimeters, I had a slightly larger range of 0.4 of my data. So that was a little bit less precise on my 20 centimeters, whereas my 30 centimeters was again 0.2, so a little bit more precise there. So there's a few little things that we can do in terms of processing our data. So calculating our averages and also using the ranges in there. And I don't have to type them in on my calculator because I can simply just put in some functions using spreadsheets. Now for the experiment that we were doing, we were looking at reaction times, and we were doing, to work out the reaction time, we said it was the square root of 2 lots of the distance that we were measuring divided by 980. Now, you're going to have to do that for lots and lots of different calculations. And if you have to do it on your calculator, that's going to take you a long, long time. So what I suggest you do is you end up getting just a sort of small little spreadsheet down here, and you'll have your average distance, okay? So your average distance that you have found for the different temperatures. Now, I've just put in some random values here that I'm just going to show you with. But we want to work out now what the time is. So in this case, I'm going to go again. We always start off when we're doing an equation with an equal sign. Now, I want to do a square root, so I'm going to write square root. And you can see there, it's coming up as SKRT in capitals. I'm just going to select it because it automatically comes up. But if not, you can write S, Q, R, and T in capitals, and then you open up your bracket. The opening of the bracket is really important because it all needs to be included within it. So the first thing I'm going to have is my 2 lots, so 2, star, and star means multiply, the distance, okay? At this point, I'm going to divide. I'm going to use a forward slash for my division sign and put 980. And then I'm going to simply close my brackets. I put that in. Again, I've got my value there, and I'm going to pull this down. Now at this point, that's a lot of decimal places, and really that's far too many for us to be using. So what I can start doing here is decreasing the number of decimals that I see, and really probably want my time to maybe 2 or 3 decimal places, maybe 2. And I can see that time there given to a more sensible value for us to be looking at. Now that decrease and increase decimal places button can be really helpful for when we see up here in our table. For example, I can see that all of these are given to one decimal place except these, which are given as 9. Now, if I want to do it for 1, or I can select them all and I can simply just go increase decimal places. Well, I don't need to see the 0, I can decrease it back. Again, or I could just pick them individually and I can go through and individually increase and decrease them. And it means I can see that 0.0, because otherwise if you just write 6.0, it will always go back to 6 until you increase the decimal places and you get your 6.0 shown there. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and if you're not, ask me some questions in class.